And welcome back, Mina, to Mega Marts. What episode did we watch today, Jonathan?
We watched episode 10, Ice Age.
Ice Age. Not like the movie. Have you seen the movies, by the way?
If it doesn't involve Iceman and Airman, I don't care.
Touche.
Yeah.
So,
Iceman and Airman are villains of the day, but you know we'll get there when we get there. Very first thing we see is just a frozen room, and gotta say, pretty accurate to how I'm feeling right now.
yeah, we couldn't have watched a more perfect episode on a very cold day.
Why did it get cold in March?
I have no earthly idea, but seeing that guy, like, okay, so the scientist, what was his name?
That was Zero, like as in absolute zero.
Really? Was that his name?
It was like Mr. Zero or Dr. Zero.
Well,
I just kept calling him Zero.
Anyway, Professor Zero, we open with this episode with this guy covered in a blanket, and he's like shivering, and he's like, "Miss So-and-so, turn up the heat. I'm freezing in here." And I was like, you know, I feel just like that guy right there.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
And then he's like shaking and shivering, and he's desperately trying to pour this coffee into his cup.
The coffee's still smoking at this point.
It's still smoking. He pours it in, and he takes a sip, and he pours it out, and
it's already frozen.
It's already frozen, and it breaks into pieces.
It doesn't even make sense.
Doesn't make sense,
but
but
it's great. It was funny.
I definitely felt the cold in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Very chilling.
Well, speaking of cold, a sexy nurse comes to the gate of this I don't know, it's like a cold plant.
Yeah,
I'm not really sure exactly what the building is for.
Maybe like a liquid nitrogen plant, like I don't know. It's some refrigeration company.
Yeah, they invented cold. And the sexy nurse comes in, and she's like, "Ooh, hey, Mr. Guard, you need to be careful because people catching colds. I'm gonna take your temperature." And then, you know, shoves the thing. Yeah, he's like, "Oh, hey, all right."
I like how
he just shoves it in his mouth.
The sexy nurse looked obviously like a robot,
mm-hmm.
and he was just like, "Oh, hello, ma'am."
Yeah,
like,
he's into it.
Like that's the only piece of action that's ever gonna come his way. So he's flirting with it.
But it just...
Because what lady's gonna come and visit the refrigeration plant? Let's be honest.
I don't know. I wouldn't. But I'm not a lady. But it just turns out to be Iceman, and
mm-hmm.
he just freezes the guard. Like the whole nurse thing, completely unnecessary. It didn't add anything.
It didn't even need to happen.
But
you could have just come
funny.
in and, yo, freeze your face, and then episode starts. But
and then Airman shows up like right behind him.
And okay, oh my gosh, Airman number 1. He has no neck. He has like the head of a shark, and the way he talks, it's like you see him immediately, and I immediately thought, fun life.
He has like a gruff voice, but it's also like very robotic. Like he's a Transformers, and Iceman is just Danny DeVito.
He is.
Like what a voice.
I know.
Especially coming off the Archie comics, Iceman, because he's like this little kid and he's like real cute.
Yeah, he's like, oh.
And then you just get the DeVito voice coming through.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's a complete polar opposite.
If you didn't catch it, I was gonna. But Airman's design, I think it's great. It's so different, but you can still tell that it's Airman. Because he actually has a head and stuff, unlike Airman of the games that just has a fan face.
But I like the Airman. OC design. the original character design. It's got all the right colors.
Oh yeah, it's a good design, but I like this new one like too. Saying I can't like both.
I think this current Airman looks too much like. Oops. Sorry.
It's currently 8 p.m.
I forgot I have my work watch on. But I don't know, like Airman, like this current Airman just looks like a shark with a fan on it.
You got something against sharks?
Well, no, but, you know, I like this. I like OC Airman. He's cute. Look at him. I'm holding a toy. You can't see it, but
Yeah,
maybe we'll show you a picture right here in the corner of the video.
It looks like Airman.
Airman.
But, so, Iceman and Airman, you know, they break into the building, and they go to kidnap Zero.
And to steal all the liquid nitrogen because they're trying to freeze the world.
Yeah, but, Zero calls the guard, and he somehow is in an ice cube, like up to his neck, and he just like waddles to the door so he can comedically fall down when he opens the door for the guard.
How'd he move?
Because ice cube.
Did he get pushed? Because that still don't make no sense.
It doesn't really matter because Wily has a blimp now.
Wily blimp.
Is it the skull blimp? Like,
I don't. It didn't look like it had the skull on it.
It had a picture of a skull
remember.
on the side. It was just painted on. Like, it looks like he just took a blimp from a football game and just painted a skull on it. So it turns out that Mega Man is doing charity work. You know, he must have got a DUI or something.
Oh my god! Is that what you think?
I don't know. He's been drinking those energy cans pretty hard. But he's got to go to a school. It's like these at-risk, like teenagers.
These punk kids.
Yeah, punk kids. Disrespecting Mega Man. I don't care how hard you think you are. You don't do that to Mega Man. First of all, it's Mega Man. And second, he's just saving the day. You know, he's doing his job. He's risking his life for you. That's just not cool.
But the principal, I guess, the principal of the school apparently called Mega Man and was like, "Hey, I have these 3 miscreants and I need you to help put them in line." And Mega Man is like, "Okay."
Like, alright, yeah, I'm not doing anything. And Roll and Rush.
Yeah, they joined for the party.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting to see Mega Man and company just riding around in just a regular car.
Yeah, I honestly didn't know where this. Ooh, excuse me, keep burping. Yeah, I honestly didn't know how this episode was gonna go because you know, three kids in the car. 3 punk kids, and I'm like, oh boy, where could this go? You know, actually, I think this episode might have been like one of the very first episodes that I watched.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I like something about it feels familiar. Like I feel like that's strange. Like, what the heck is this? And also like, what the heck is this? But I'm still gonna keep watching kind of thing.
Well, you have always liked Iceman, so you know maybe this is the origin.
Maybe this really was the first episode, but I felt like I've seen this episode before in a way.
Did you notice that while they're driving around in the car, they pull up to a stoplight and it's red, yellow, green, and then when they drive away, it's green, yellow, red. Like the thing just flips over.
Yeah, it's so funny because when we literally had to rewind the movie or the video. God, such a 90s kid saying movie.
Nah, you'd be saying tape.
Oh yeah. Well,
rewind the tape.
Well,
Dad.
no. So I didn't notice anything at first, and Jonathan was like, "Wait, did that light? Was it like reverse?" Like,
yeah, I wasn't even sure.
Yeah, and then we had to run it back, and we were like, "Oh, good on you, Jonathan.
I did it.
You did it.
But
you're better than Mama."
I am. But the whole time, Iceman and Airman, they're just taking shots at each other. It turns out they hate each other. They cannot stand each other.
Can't stand you.
It's so cool.
Get out of here.
Didn't mean to. It's so neat to see not all the Robot Masters get along.
Yeah.
You know, like these two, like clearly have some issues.
I thought it was
like they're both blue. You know, maybe that's the underlying thing.
Yeah, they're both blue, but they're acting red. I
would say green with envy.
Ooh.
So everything is starting to get frozen. No, before things get frozen, the bad guys are using a pipe to pump out all the liquid nitrogen so Wily can steal it.
And freeze the world.
And freeze the world, which we'll get to how dumb that is later.
Yes.
But Rush, he transforms his nose into a jackhammer.
Which is the most cleverest thing ever.
Yeah, because he can do that now.
Like, okay.
Yeah, and it's
Jack nose.
It's barely effective, but you know he's helping.
Yes.
But then Mega Man gets his feet frozen to the ground.
Oh, poor Mega Man.
And he's like, "Oh no!" Because they knock over a tower and it's gonna fall on him. He's like, I can't get out of the way. And then commercial break. But then, after the commercials, he just uses his like plasma power to melt his feet.
Oh wait.
And then he jumps away. And in the meantime, Rush gets frozen and pushed into a wall and explodes.
He just... No, Jonathan says the word explode, but this is actually kind of brutal. Like, than most Rush thing. Like, he just, like... He gets frozen and he gets pushed away, and then he, like, shatters. Like, his entire body just discombobulates itself.
Yeah, there are parts. And you see screws and stuff falling
down,
too.
and you see screws, so it's like, holy crap, I hope Rush is okay. Like, you know, at that point. And then later in a scene, you see Rush, like, half finished. Like, this poor dog.
Like, trying to put himself back.
Yes, he was trying to put himself together so he could help out. Rush. A boy.
Rush is the eternal...
You're a good dog.
He's eternal good dog.
He's such a good dog.
Good boy.
Good boy.
But while all this is happening, Mr. Zero gets kidnapped. So this is a pretty thorough loss on, you know, Mega Man's part.
Yeah, you see them lose.
And then the punk kids show up, you know, and then it's like, oh, well, you know,
this isn't a game.
Thanks, guys. And then one of them's like, oh, it doesn't matter if you win or lose, you know, we still get school credit for this. And Mega Man's like, this isn't a video game that we're playing.
This is serious.
Yeah. So
and Roll was like, the least you could have do was, you know, stay out of trouble or help it, or I forget what she says.
Yeah. But then they have to leave the kids at the plant to chase down Wily, because Rush is like broken, so like we're gonna take the car, you know, to get there. And I think Rush being broken was a good excuse, so then they could get, you know, like to move the plot along to get rid of the kids.
Yeah.
It turns out the car is just the regalia and it can fly.
Yes. It was just, okay, Rush is broken, boom, airplane, car.
Yeah, it just flies.
And I was just like, why didn't they just do that in the beginning? Story development, that's why.
Well, I mean, you know, you're driving kids around. It's supposed to be just a regular project, just planting trees, being good boys. You'll just fly.
Oh my god.
You're gonna knock down trees.
Boring.
That's why you were the punk kid in school. You needed Mega Man.
Maybe.
But we get to see winter-themed Dr. Wily, you know, purchase yours today. He's got like the winter jacket and the gloves.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
You did?
No, I didn't.
You even commented on, man, they didn't even give Mr. Zero a coat. And then there's Wily right next to him laughing it up while wearing a coat. I thought that's what you were referring to.
For some reason I thought you said Dr. Light. But
oh, Wily.
Yeah.
If I said Light, I meant Wily.
But, yeah, this poor guy, he works the refrigerator industry, and then they take this guy's coat away from him. Like all he wants to do, and like the entire, like, rest of the show, it's just this, you know, bald, you know, old man just shivering and trying to stay warm.
Yeah, he looks like Dr. Kane, but wimpier, if I had to describe my guess. But he's like, oh, what if I don't want to help you? And then Gutsman picks up a pipe and stabs it into a piece of ice. He's like, we'll make popsicles out of you.
Chomp,
and then he like uses that giant shovel jaw to eat just pure ice, and it's stupid, and I love it.
And it shatters everywhere,
and he's falling out of his
and he's just like, okay, I'll help. But this guy has the nerve to do this twice, because he's like, and what if I don't help you? And he's like dangled over liquid nitrogen.
Yeah, and then again, yeah.
You know, so.
I didn't even think about that.
Dr. Zero, you got some guts.
Not as much as Guts, man, apparently.
Yeah.
But then, you know, Wily reveals his plan that he wants to, you know, freeze everything, and then he's like, "You're mad!" And then Wily, being the cleverest dude in the world, is like, "No, I'm happy."
I was really waiting. I had no idea what he would say. Like, what? I was just, you know, what, you know.
That's like playground stuff, making fun of the... Yeah.
Fist the cheek. I was like, what is he gonna say?
That's some playground stuff, like making fun of the kid with the stutter.
Oh, that's some mean stuff. After Wily,
it's Wily, yeah.
Such a jerk.
But, so they hook the pump up to Airman, like he's got the back of the fan in the back. so they can shoot the nitrogen out and it spins around so it spreads it more.
Yeah, and
because Iceman was like, "Oh, I wanna do it," and Airman's like, "I can do it better." And
keep in mind they're in the blimp in the
flying around
sky
the blimp,
because
yes.
it's the fastest, and Iceman was like, "I thought I was gonna be the one to freeze the world," and
Airman's like, "I'm faster."
Airman's like, "I'm faster," and he like plugs the thing into his back, and then you see the ice stuff or liquid nitrogen come out.
Yeah, and so it's making this huge glacier going through the whole city, just freezing everything. And Mega Man sees this car that's, like it's stopped. Like, oh no, we're gonna get froze. And he's like, oh, you guys just need some plasma power, and he just opens it up. He's like, just a little bit, and he just like barely shoots inside, and the car's fixed and drives away.
But at this point,
best mechanic.
Yes. Best mechanic. But at this point, he couldn't escape the glacier in time, so he gets frozen.
But he saved those people, and that's what matters.
Yeah, and then Roll's like, "Oh no, Mega Man!" And then the next scene is the kids' high school getting frozen because I guess the kids were. I mean, it didn't show them get from the refrigerator plant to the school, but
But that's what Mega Man said to do. He's like, "Go back to the school because there's an attack. You need to be safe."
Or his exact words were, "At least I hope I can trust you to go back to school."
Yeah, right.
And so I guess that's what they did because the next scene after that, when Mega Man gets frozen,
they're probably like a block away. And they see it get frozen.
He's like, they're both like, "Oh no, our school," and they get frozen, and they're like, "Oh my god, we gotta run. We don't want to get frozen."
And they go back they end up at Light's lab.
Yeah, they somehow find Dr. Light's lab, and they're like, "Mega Man, we're so sorry, you were right."
Yeah, this is after.
What can we do to help?
This is after Mega Man is unfrozen, right? Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah.
Because Roll touches down, and then she finds Mega Man, and she digs him out. Like she has like a jack in her hand. Uh-oh. Them jack hands.
Jack hands.
But she starts punching through the ice, and for some reason Rush just can't do the jackhammer nose anymore.
I was really expecting him to do it again.
He's like digging and throwing like dirt and ice at Roll, and she's like, "Come on, man." And it turns out Mega Man's been frozen for half an hour, which I kind of like how they gave
like a time.
Like a time, yeah. So you can kind of infer how far along Wily has gotten with his plan.
Yeah.
But everybody's back at Light Labs. The kids show up, and they get a distress call on the TV thing, and it's just Discount Gutsman. Like, did you notice it was like a skinnier Gutsman, had the shovel jaw, and he was like green.
No. Oh wait. Yes.
And then he just got frozen.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like, oh no, everything's going bad. Ah. And he's just frozen, and then Wily, doing Dr. Wily, takes over all the TVs. Again, he's like, oh, I'm taking over the city. Everyone has to leave. I'm in control now.
He can't help you now. Pretty much is what he does again.
Yeah.
But to the city this time.
Yeah. But the punk kids, I was like, they never get names. They're just the punk kids.
They're just kids.
But I cannot believe that they actually became relevant to the plot. I thought it would just be something like at the beginning.
Yeah.
But they all come up with a plan together, and they're walking past where Iceman is, and they're like, good thing Dr. Light has this plan, like they're Kevin Zeefing it. They're like, I can't believe how good this plan is,
And Iceman's all like,
he's like,
yo, what are you doing?
Yeah, he's like, you better tell me.
Troublemakers over here.
And he's like, you better tell me or I'm gonna freeze you. So they're like, oh, crap.
Secret camera.
Yeah.
Don't freeze us.
Yeah, he's gonna.
Dr. Light's place.
Light's gonna send a camera to find the weak point of Wily's machine. He's like, oh, well, we'll see about that. So Iceman goes back to the lab, and he defeats Mega Man. Like, he freezes him and knocks him into the wall or something. And then he's like, I'm gonna call Dr. Wily and tell him, what a good boy I am. So he calls Dr. Wily on Dr. Light's TV. And then Wily's like, good job, come back. And then and then the camera goes out, and then it comes back.
Yeah.
And then it's Wily talking to Airman.
He's like, ooh, Iceman's getting too strong. We can't trust him.
Yeah, it's like, I agree. You know, so Iceman's like,
click.
oh, no. You know, they're...
I'll teach them to double-cross me.
Yeah,
and he makes Dr. Light build, like these metal soldiers so he could freeze them and have them, like, be ice soldiers. And then in the next scene, he sends them out to fight Wily. And
yeah, well, after Iceman leaves with his ice bots...
Oh,
you know, you see
Man's
that Mega Man was faking it. And I forgot to point out earlier that the spy camera robot was like the Pippi enemies. It's the birds that drop the eggs that hatch into smaller birds.
That's why they called it Pippi.
Yeah, so
it's just a Pippi.
It was really cool to see, you know, like enemies being reappropriated like that. And it's like, oh, here's something from the game. It's not really important, you know, like where it's coming from. So, you know, Light made this one, and it ended up being a camera.
That means Dr. Wily turned it evil for the... What levels do they come in?
They're in Airman's level.
Airman...
Yeah.
Oh!
It's all coming full circle.
Coming to Millhouse.
But yeah, he didn't even send the camera away. Like, you know, he made it fly up, but it didn't go to Wily. It was just a ruse.
Yeah, it was just like a room with like a half-built Wily and a half-built Airman.
Yeah, it was like just from the waist up. Yeah. Just so they could fool Iceman, which turns out to be extremely easy.
Yeah.
But it's Iceman.
Fast forward to when he's fighting Dr. Wily, like, how dare you?
Yeah, Iceman attacks Dr. Wily because like, oh, you're gonna destroy me? Well, I got an army.
And Wily's just like, what?
He's like, what are you talking
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
He like hides, and Proto's like, we'll take care of Iceman, and then Mega Man shows up, and
yeah, he's like, Mega Man, you're supposed to be dead. And he's like, that's news to me.
Yeah. So clever.
Yeah.
Just so cheeky.
And Airman comes out and he's like, oh, I'm gonna use, you know, this ice some more. And you know, he's got the hose hooked up to him, and Roll sneaks inside the skull blimp
with the ham cutter.
Yep,
again.
she brings out the ham cutter and just cuts through the wires.
I gotta say, when she was cutting through the little spaghetti wires, like it just felt so good, you know, just to see like the ham cutters go through the little spaghetti wires, and then you see them fall like spaghetti. It just felt like, I don't know, like the little kid in me felt like I was visually playing with Play-Doh when she cuts through. So I was just like,
yeah. And then one of the kids just throws a tire at...
No, he kicks it.
Oh, okay.
Somebody rolls it and he kicks it.
He kicks the tire at Airman. And I like how it was handled because it knocked him forward and he was using his fan. So it made him like just shoot up and like go a million ways into the air.
And then he just drops.
Yeah, he just drops, makes a crater in the ground. So next time you're fighting Airman and he can't be beaten, just beat Tire Man first, and then fight Airman.
Is it the same game, I'm guessing? I'm not.
There's no Tire Man.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know these things.
Mega Man 12 confirmed.
Well, no,
Tire Man.
Well, wait. Isn't there a level where like there's tires on the floor somewhere?
There's Turbo in 7. He's a race car themed guy.
Oh, okay.
And it's like a garage, you know, full of tire obstacles.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe that's why I was like, oh, wait.
Beat Tire Man first. But Mega Man ends up copying Iceman and then Airman right after. So he uses, I forgot what order he did. I think he did Air Shooter to make everyone go up in the air, and then he froze them.
Yeah, you're right.
Was that the order?
Yeah,
or did he freeze them first?
No, he
swirled them and then
No, I think he...
I know he copied Iceman first.
Yeah, he copied Iceman first.
And then he copied Airman like right after.
Hold on, I'm trying to think.
I'm pretty sure
no, I think you're right.
He used Air Shooter.
Air Shooter, and then he froze them.
Yeah. He uses Ice
so
Slasher.
that when they fell, they shattered. There you go.
Yeah, that's how he defeated all the rest of the Job Squad.
Yeah, and I think he freezes Iceman mid-run so that like he like falls over or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. I was too busy, you know, just being all hyped about, two powers at once.
Two powers and using them. Like...
Yeah, it was the Kirby 64 of Mega Man. It was really cool. But then, you know, Wily gets away and he vacuums up all the robot masters so he can leave. And then they're like, well, the city's still frozen. And then Dr. Zero is like, oh, don't worry, it's liquid nitrogen. If it's not kept cold, it just evaporates.
Yeah,
like,
and then immediately it just...
What kind of short-sighted plan
I know.
was that for Wily? Like maybe there was something at the beginning that we missed.
I have no idea.
But you don't use liquid nitrogen to freeze a city if you want to take it over, because it'll be fine.
Go away, yeah.
Like, it'll hurt people, you know, they'll get, like, burns. But the buildings will be okay, probably. Who cares? It's Dr. Wily. But, fun episode.
Very fun. As soon as Mega Man had froze, like, everybody, I was like, how is Dr. Wily gonna pick up, you know, again, the hand to hip, fist to chin.
Yeah, what's he gonna do?
How he gonna roll away and pick up these robots?
And then...
And then just giant vacuum, and I was just like, oh, okay.
Okay, there it is.
Okay. I see you, Wily.
Yep.
I was just... Some part of my mind wanted him to, like, pick him up in, like, the most ridiculous way.
like sometimes when he has, like, the mechanical arms come down and he like shoves them back inside the ship.
I'm waiting for the episode where they all get destroyed and he picks them up in a way that's just like, what?
yeah. We'll have to keep our eyes out. But yeah, that's it. Good episode.
It was very fun, very cold, very cool.
Yep. And you out there, stay cool, but
stay warm as well.
Also stay warm, yeah. And take it easy. We'll see you tomorrow.
Rock and roller out.